Hey, it's Kevin. Welcome back to the Road Warrior. It's funny, my wife posted a meme the other day, kind of reshared a meme the other day on Facebook, and I was like, wow, it did take me back. And it was talking about summer, and how summer today is different than summer of years ago. I talked, a couple weeks ago about how kids go back to school, or it has nothing to do with that. It's how we enjoyed summer. Like running through sprinklers. I didn't have a swimming pool anywhere near where I was growing up any time. My wife had a swimming pool close to where she grew up, but so we would plug in one of the sprinklers, do one of those little waving sprinkler kind of things, and run through the sprinklers, or even the old slip and slides if you had the kind of ground for that. Or out till late at night, whether it was catching lightning bugs, fireflies, if you will, or playing tag, or ghost in the graveyard, or kick the can. We were always outdoor kids. You could stay outside until the street lights came on. Now, I realize I grew up in a small town, 45,000 people. Spent most of my formative years there. And it was different. I can't imagine, even in a small town today, kids are out playing tag until 8 o'clock at night. You don't let kids outside without adult supervision anymore because of the world we live in. It's just amazing, or the ice cream man. In the towns I lived in, and many, I started my school years in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and then spent most of my school years in Quincy, Illinois, and then finished up high school in Virginia Beach. And in all three of those cities, again, 1960s, 1970s, you always had an ice cream truck coming through. It wasn't all the time, but there were patterns. I almost drove the ice cream truck one year in Illinois, back in my high school years. I looked into it. That doesn't happen anymore. It's interesting how the world has changed. And again, my dad and I were talking about this recently where, just in his life. Now, my father's, 80, almost 88 years old, so the world has really changed in his time. He still doesn't use the internet. I don't know how anybody survives without the internet today. And you figure, I've been on the internet now, in some form of the internet, Prodigy Network, AOL, those kinds of things, since the late 1980s. The internet came around for the most of us in 1995. I can't imagine not living on the internet. That's how this comes to you. So you're on the internet right now watching. Think about it. But the world around us has just changed so much. Or just kids, in the neighborhood playing baseball. You got a deserted lot. My next door neighbors in Quincy had a big, long field, had a bunch of trees in it, and we could play baseball in that. We could play kickball in that. There was always enough grass. We never had to go to a park, per se, to do those things. It's all changed. And I'm not saying it's worse or it's better. It's just, if you don't think about it, you don't realize how much it's changed. And, they joke about, a rotary dial telephone, or when you would just go and a phone would ring and somebody would just pick it up because you didn't have caller ID back in the day. You didn't know who it was. It was a risk and a gamble with whoever called. You didn't think twice about it. I'm not even talking that kind of stuff. I'm just talking about how much our lives have changed. Part of it's technology. I think part of it's just the world around us, how the world has changed. How we have to worry about abductions, and how we have to worry about how unsafe the world has become. And it's kind of sad. I guess that's why kids are so adult now. They become adults at a younger age, and people will argue that point. But it's not the same, because they're not as naive. They always let kids be kids. Kids now always have activities. All my nieces and nephews, tons of activities. Sports, soccer, baseball, summer football, camps. I played basketball. I had basketball camp, but other than that, I just played. If we were playing baseball, we were playing baseball. If we were playing basketball, we were playing basketball. When the winter started getting cooler, we played touch football, or flag football, or sometimes tackle football. When you really stop and think about it, you really realize how much it's changed. Again, not good or bad, just wow. You have to think about it sometimes. Back next week, another Road Warrior, kevinmason.us, home for all of our Road Warrior videos on Facebook, on YouTube. Thank you for stopping by. Would love a little like, give us a thumbs up, comment, reshare it to somebody, tell a friend if you will. We love it when you're here. We love it when you stay this long. Appreciate you all the time. Back next week, another Road Warrior. Thanks.